Today is February 14th, 2014, Valentine's Day. We want to welcome you. My name is SonyaLee.
My name is EricThomas.
And this is Cosmic Slop. We chose Valentine's Day to do this show because our show is really all about love. Do you want to tell them or shall I?
You should probably tell them. It'll come nicer from you.
I doubt that. Because see, the reality of it is, we are very compassionate, loving beings. We love our fellow man so much that we want to help you, because at times you make it so damn hard for us to love you. So what better way and what better day than Valentine's Day to talk about love?
Because if you're going to pick any day of the year to talk about the dysfunctional thing we call love, you might as well make it Valentine's Day.
Because that's where the focus is.
Well, yeah, I saw the tent at Fry's for all the men to go to the big tent to buy flowers and candy, because that's still where we think love is. If I get you flowers and candy, you know, the rest of the year when I'm a real ass to you, and I'm in a bad mood, you don't want to be around me, and vice versa.
Oh, let's forgive it on this magical day.
This is going to make up for it.
Oh, and you'll get laid too.
It may be your only other time besides your birthday. So you better take advantage of it. And if you live that way and that works for you, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're living that way and it doesn't work for you, have you asked yourself why?
Yeah. Maybe we might have a few questions for you that'll get you thinking. You remember what thinking is, right? It's not what kind of latte you're going to have as you're standing in line. It's you know, the things, almost like when you were in school and you had to come up with the answer to an algebra problem in the 9th grade. That kind of thinking.
You mean like right now we're trying to think of what to say and do the show?
Kind of, sort of, a little bit. You're not supposed to tell them that.
They know. If they don't figure that out by now, we're winning it. They
Keep
should
watching.
Watch. No, they should.
We will not disappoint.
So here's the thing. Now, I'm not going to get too much into this, but I've taken a few tries at marriage, and I believe in love.
You're not Elizabeth Taylor, are you?
No,
Okay.
I'm at about 60% hurt. Somewhere around there. Maybe half.
Okay.
I forget. But, you know, I believe in love, and I like being in love.
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing. I'm kind of goofy when I'm in love.
Endorphins, it feels good.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole chemical thing.
Yeah, and I like it. But what happens is the rest of the world kind of then piles in and filters in after the infatuation period. And I got this daily grind. And love just ends up getting shit on so many times. I'll be honest with you, I have really struggled with the whole idea of love. I think it's just something my life doesn't need in the sense of relationship.
Wow.
Because it's got so much debris and baggage around it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, wait a minute, if I can be happy without that, then maybe I should just accept that and be happy.
Well, you know, that is one way to do it. I mean, it works for some people, and I'm not saying that that's not a way to be. You know, I hearken to the Beatles. You know, they said it best. All you need is love. And talking of romantic love,
That's the one I struggle with the most.
yeah,
Because I like it the most.
you know, I'm a Pisces, and so I'm very romantic, and like you, I've also had a couple spins around in that department. I do kind of look at it differently from most people, actually from most women. I've always kind of taken a guy's approach to relationships, romantic relationships, if you will. I take what I want, and then when it doesn't serve me anymore, I move on.
Wow. Well, see, I love your honesty about that. And leave broken hearts in the way.
Well, no. I always am trying to be fair and equitable. I don't want people to not, you know, think kindly or fondly. I mean, I always used to say when I go on a date with somebody, especially a first date, I'd say, you know what, we don't know what's going to happen here tonight, but regardless, whatever we do, let's make some fond memories, you know, and if we keep our expectation level there, then we're bound to have a good time. And there's no expectation for after that. moment.
Do you make them sign a waiver?
I don't make them sign it. It's just something I throw out there. It's just a, for shits and giggles, take the pressure off. Little did I know that all I did was compound pressure, because apparently, and I've learned this, being the mother of 5 sons with 2 brothers, men like it much more simple than that,
Yes.
When you talk in too many, use big words or combine too many sentences together, you lose them.
No, I'm defensive men. It's not that we're incapable, we just don't care.
Well, that's it.
If we don't want to hear all the other drama around it, we just love you, and then let it be love.
Are you learning here? Are you seeing this? This is dynamic right here that just kind of shows you. This is what happens in most romantic relationships. You're sitting at one end of the couch going, God, he hasn't said very much to me all night, and I just wonder what's going on, and maybe he doesn't love me anymore, and we went out to dinner, he didn't say anything, and is he losing his appeal for me? And he's sitting at the other end of the couch going, I can't figure out what that fucking noise was in the car, and it's driving me crazy.
True. Or something else.
But it's not usually as complex and complicated as we want to try to make it. And even in our efforts to uncomplicate it, we just complicate it. Just get in, get out, try to leave as little debris as possible, and everybody's good.
I think that's what Bill Clinton said to Monica Lewinsky. But I'm not sure. It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. And memories are sketchy, as they don't recollect things that happen.
Well, in our culture, I guess it's, human nature for sure, about love and partnership and all that, but I think we're at a new age of understanding what that really means. And I guess I a lot credit the feminist movement for that, because it really kind of brought to the attention of a younger generation. It's like, hey, you don't need to grow up to be what your parents were.
Mm-hmm.
I think they kind of were mean about it and made it seem like what our parents were was useless, about women baking cookies, they got more important things to do and things like that. But in general, it's like, it taught us that we can be fine on our own, and it mostly focused at girls, but boys clearly picked it up too, because look at the rates of men wanting to get in relationships, going to college, those are all down now.
Well, and I think it's interesting too, because as we look at some of the social issues that are coming about today, as far as relationships and what is marriage? Is it a man or a woman, or is it just 2 people coming together? Gender identities and things like that. That gender equality, which has really kind of become a buzzword in the LGBTQ community, really is at its simplest just gender equality for everyone. And the roles and the limitations that have been placed on people isn't just affecting one segment of our population, it affects everyone. What are men's roles? What are women's roles? Am I supposed to grow up and find a man that I can marry, that I can have his children, to carry on his lineage, and he's going to take care of me until the day he dies? That's not my reality. And I don't think your reality is one of, I'm going to go out and I'm going to be the man and I'm going to be the strong one and I'm going to be the provider, and my word is law, or no, now I have to be sensitive and caring and supportive, and I need to check in and make sure that she's feeling okay, and I have to kowtow to her needs. I don't want a penis, okay? I like my vagina. You keep the penis and we'll all be good.
How you describe all this? I don't want a relationship at all. I'm totally happy on my own, and my treehouse is loving my life.
And can you understand now why? Because this is the conundrum. I can't imagine why anybody would want a relationship with all of this to have to contend with. But the simple fact of the matter is, for me anyway, is it's just about coming together it's like dancing, You're on the dance floor and you see somebody you want to dance with, and you take their hand and you come together, and your bodies and your energetic fields merge, and it's great.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just for one song, and sometimes it's for the rest of your life. But it really is a very beautiful thing when you understand it in the context of, it's just a dance, and you can't dance alone. I just had a vision of people out on the dance floor dancing alone. Yeah, okay, maybe you can dance alone. But, you said it earlier, you said partnership. And I think a lot of problems with romantic relationships is people don't realize that it's a partnership. that it takes two people to come to a mutually beneficial agreement to coexist together.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I learned many years ago about the winds of heaven. And in your relationship, you should let the winds of heaven dance between you. Then you maintain your own sense of self and a contribution to your partner.
Yeah.
But like we like to do this all the time and get lost in them and become codependent, dysfunctional.
You start dressing alike, talking alike, ordering food for each other, finishing each other's sentences. My God.
Or eating in silence.
Oh, that's kind of bad too.
Well, I kind of like it sometimes because sometimes
Well, it
the
depends. Is
conversations
it
is
comfortable
drama.
silence, or is it that, we have nothing in common and the children are grown and gone, and now we're looking at each other going, what the hell did I ever see in you?
That is my comfortable silence. That's all I know. That's only way I understand.
He's such a romantic.
No, I am, and I think that's one of my downfalls. I live in a fantasy world about it.
Yeah.
And it's like if love can't be like pure and like to its own thing in the relationship, without getting shit on by everything else, I'm thinking I don't want it then. It comes with too many strings.
Yeah.
But love shouldn't come with strings.
No, it's got to be free. It's that old expression, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, then it was yours. Yeah, that's been variation in many times. But parts of it are really authentic.
Mm-hmm.
In that love isn't to be crushed or smothered or held with a kung fu death grip. Love is etheric.
I don't know. I've been disappointed by it.
Well,
You know why? Because, it's hard to meet healthy humans. It's hard to meet someone who's put their baggage in its place, so then they come with all of it, and sometimes they'll try to drag yours into it as well.
Sure.
And if you've done the hard work, if you have a spiritual practice and you're working on letting go of things and moving past your past and all that, and then they can bring in their stuff.
And sometimes our soulmates are our most beloved and bring the most painful lessons.
Sure.
So, to say that, heartbreak is another part of love, it's the highs and the lows of experiencing this wonderfully subjective, because it is all so very personal.
Sure.
What love means or feels like to me is completely different from what it feels like or means to you. So really being able to articulate this, I give us a lot of credit, because we're going into some deep waters here, and I think it's very brave of us to try to broach a subject that have had millions of songs and poems and wars fought over, and yet still, I dare say, to articulate it in a way that everyone can agree upon has yet to be found.
Well, it can't be, because it is so unique to the two people or three or whoever's involved in the type of love that it is, if it's familial or platonic or romantic.
When we talk about agape love, God's love,